Really, so on time. You're 2 minutes early. Isaiah Taylor's not even here yet. Well, yes. Okay, he is building, is busy building Air Force One. Now, I wonder if it's going to be complete with like Gary Oldman, like a terrorist villain. Who knows? I would hope. Yeah, exactly. You got to complete the set. You just got to have like, everything. It's been. I did see that movie once. It's been a while since I seen it, but it's just like, you know what? It's if you've seen it once before, you've seen an action movie once before, action movie starring Harrison and Ford, then you're like, yeah, you do. You probably like seeing, he has that intense look in that face and all, and like he gives that throughout the movie, and say something like rapper some lines and stuff like that. No, it's kind of like that one trick he does, but he does it very well. Hello, Radical Bacon. Hello, Joe McClory. Hello, Emily Chambers. It, the well, I don't know. It depends on what circles you go to, because there's a lot that like goes on as we're. No, of course not. Why would you? Mm. I mean, the Philippines elections happened this week. UK had their own like election for council seats. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know that UK had elections, but I think it's like wasn't like a general election, just like local council seats elections, because like it's not like they got a new prime minister at all. It's just like yes. I was like busy sharing the yes. But and his running mate is the daughter of the previous or current prime minister, as it were, the guy who was jailing and arresting and like and killing drug addicts. Yes, exactly, by a landslide margin too, because social media. Uh, well, there was violence at the polling stations. Actual violence, glitches in the machines. We're kind of used to that. It's just like, I mean, I guess like they didn't need to, but it seemed like for sure that like it was going to be like again the son of the former dictator and the daughter of the current dictator that was going to like win, and a mixture of the north and south, because like if the news the journalists like said so, like the one of them was from the north, Marcos or Duterte, and the Duterte from the south, so it's kind of mixed. So it's the bridging of the north dictator and the south dictator with their children as leadership now. Yeah, things are going to get worse in the Philippines before they get better. I probably, yeah, because like I'm not sure. Not sure of the previous dictator. Yes, exactly. Yep, cancel council. Oh, that's right. In the invasion territory of Northern Ireland. That's right. The possibility of unified Ireland, as it were. Because like the party that like in Northern Ireland that won was like the party that like was formerly the IRA, the in Irish Republican Army. Yeah. Mhm. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mithril. Yeah. No, if you want to like come on, just say so, and somebody can like give you the link and give you the mic as well, so like you can correct us like Americans on like the British politics. Hello, Isaiah, how you doing? Uh, there's guys like being on the phone and all is kind of like tricky, hey, especially with data or like certain spots and all. So Irish unification. Yes, that's right, Radical Bacon. The Irish unification of like 2024. I mean, more and more Star Trek seems to be like predicting the future, as it were. Okay, the Metro. I'll send you the invite. All right, I'll do it to you an email form. No. All you hear is you can't hear John Brockman. Everyone else is muted. They can at least hear me.
Can you hear me?
Okay, so I can hear you.
It's not using the right microphone. Now it's using the correct microphone. I don't know why it would stop using the correct microphone.
Was there an update?
No, nothing changed. It just it was using the default microphone, and that wasn't apparently actually a microphone. So hey, everybody, you missed a couple of glorious minutes of me being clever as fuck, which is honestly probably better for you.
I see professional streamer moment. This is why it's so important for the audience to tell the like streamer is like if there's like issues or problems as it were, because if the streamer doesn't and is unaware, doesn't know, then yeah, the streamer won't know at all. So Mr. I'll send you the invite and email form.
But yeah, apparently, according to a quick Google search, the election results, his party, Prime Minister Boris Johnson, has called the results mixed because his party lost 485 seats and 12 councils. Labour gained 11 and lost 6. Lib Dems now control 3 more councils and have significantly increased the number of councillors across Britain.
Hello, Metro. Metro's connecting with audio as hello, Isaiah. How you doing?
How's it going? Good.
Right?
I'm doing good.
Some of the best dialogue since this Dostoevsky. I'm just going to take that as a compliment, David. I know you're making it funny, but I'm just going to take that as a compliment. Even if it means that even Dostoevsky was just like constantly talking to himself, which I can imagine. I just do that a lot anyway.
Sinn Féin now has 27 seats in Northern Ireland. I believe DUP is the equivalent of the GOP in Ireland.
Yeah, pretty
They're like
much.
the exact opposite.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
So they're the exact opposite of Sinn Féin.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah.
Sinn Féin throughout the 70s and 80s was referred to as the political wing of the IRA. They always denied their involvement with the IRA, but, you know, it was kind of worst kept secret type thing. Yes. However, for the first time ever, Sinn Féin are now the leading party in Northern Ireland, and because of how the peace process was constructed, which was to give shared power to the leading party and the second party, the DUP, who, yeah, you're right, John, GOP, but with Irish accents, basically, are actually throwing their toys out of the pram, having a massive hissy fit, and refusing to partake. And the result of this is that the devolved parliament in Northern Ireland won't be allowed to function.
Awesome.
So, you know, because...
So, yeah, they're acting exactly like the Solid South.
Yeah. Yeah. It's...
And the third party is apparently snoring. Apnea.
Yeah.
It's sleep apnea. It's a pun, is what I wanted.
I didn't know the name of the party, so that's
why the third party is APNI. APNI. Don't know what it means.
They're a centrist, independent. They're they're trying to take a line between the two, which is not difficult since I love Sinn Féin. They're okay. I firmly believe that Ireland should be reunited. They are a Marxist party, and
Nice. Oh, no
I mean-
wonder the U.S. hates them.
yeah.
I didn't know they were Marxists.
No, that's the worst part about it.
So Sinn Féin is Marxist?
Yep. But it
Sweet.
got huge amounts, or it used to be. I don't know whether it still is, but it used to be that Sinn Féin got enormous quantities of funding from the Boston Americans and other Irish
No,
Americans.
not surprised at all.
It was astonishing. It was quite astonishing. The BBC and other press outlets in this country were really good about reporting about when Libya sent the IRA some weapons, but were a lot less good about reporting when Americans who can't seem to remember that they actually live in America and think they're all Irish still sent the IRA a load of money.
They do have, they still have, those family connections. They have cousins across the pond, and they take it pretty seriously.
Yeah, I know that.
And also they murder people because they're all criminals.
Yeah, I mean, I've got cousins in other places of the world, but it doesn't mean I am a national of that fucking country. It's like the
I've seen the
American
Punisher
You're-
season 2. I know how it works.
Are you Mithra? Are you Irish, Mithra?
No,
No, he's Mancunian.
no.
He's from Manchester. Oh,
Well, not
that,
really,
Okay.
I gotta give him his football team.
No, I'm Lancastrian born and bred. Strong in arm and thick in head, I know.
Well, I know. In one Star Trek episode, they talked about the Irish unification of 2024. So
they say you
And
predict the
20
future.
And
I hope it happens. I really do. I hope it happens. I've visited Ireland a few times and I absolutely love the place.
As I understand, it's very green and gets lots and lots of sun.
You're halfway there. You're halfway there.
I think some of the Irish, like the protests during the well, I said that really Irish, did I? I think some of the protesters, like back in the '60s, actually used some of the nonviolent tactics the civil rights movement did.
Yes, they
And
did.
some of them really, really didn't.
they're called the Troubles for a reason.
All right. Well, yeah. The Troubles were the Irish reunification movement, and they started out, a lot of them, by using peaceful protest. But then it all got a bit nasty when the English, or the British rather, paratroopers turned their fire on a load of
Bloody
unarmed
Sunday.
people. Bloody Sunday, yeah, correct.
Everything I know about Northern Ireland, I learned by watching Gillian Anderson being a gorgeous bisexual cop in the fall.
I also watched listen to U2's song Bloody Sunday.
That's a good song, though.
Yep. There are better Irish bands than you two, believe you me.
I can believe that.
Well, actually,
the Dubliners.
one of my videos is going to be about the assassination attempt on Margaret Thatcher by the RIA. So
If only.
If only.
My response to the assassination of Margaret, or the attempted assassination of, we can't even trust them to get that fucking right, can we?
They were probably drunk.
the Brighton bomb.
The Brighton bombing. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason she survived was because she was still working on her conference speech for the following morning, and she was in a different room.
hated union. It was like a miners' strike or something.
Yep.
That she was leading, and she like hated the miners' strike. So
No, she hated the miners because she saw the miners as
Poor people.
Well, that, yes. Actually, they weren't. Generally, miners in this country, because of the unions, were very well paid. But she saw the miners as having brought down the last Conservative government prior to hers, which they kind of did. Heath went, Ted Heath, the noted creep, weirdo, former Conservative Prime Minister, went to the country basically asking the question, who rules the UK, the unions or the Conservatives?
Girls. Beyonce
And-
says it's girls.
And the answer, it seems, was the unions. So she had a lot of sulk about that.
Yeah, and like I remember watching the movie Pride, but also Working Class History has also covered this. But like the biggest supporters of the miners into and hello Groundhog who fell in the chat. Hi. As the big supporters of the miners and mine strikes in Wales in 1984 1985 was like the group of gay lesbians in London that like wanted the form a group called Gay Lesbians Support the Miners. That was hey Jojo P, welcome in. Don't worry about being late, and don't worry, Len P. I did see your excellent joke about mass murderous worry. I'll say it out loud for like you're listening to this. If a bunch of crows near a Catholic church does that make it a mass murder?
Nice.
That's good, actually. Yes.
But so the gay lesbian support a group of gay and lesbian people in like London that formed Gay Lesbian Support the Miners, and they were the biggest like donated contributors to like mine strikes.
Yeah, kind of.
One of the biggest.
Yeah, the miners' strike was probably the last in this country, the last great hurrah of workers' solidarity.
And now we're all dying, and fascism is on the rise.
Yep.
Yeah, very much.
But here's some slightly good news. ProPublica has created a searchable database of priests who have been credibly accused of sexual abuse or misconduct. So they're doing better than the Catholic Church on every regard.
That's really something. Working class history.
We had a mass shooting yesterday.
And
yeah, I was trying to hold off on some of the shit news that's come out this past week. But a mass murderer killed, I believe, 11 people and injured 3 others in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
He traveled there to kill black people and did so.
Yeah, he was just a lone wolf,
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're on the right, they're always a lone wolf, aren't they? They're never.
He didn't have a manifesto full of Tucker Carlson talking points.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, whenever it's a white person that shoots up the things, don't tell me I'm late. I'm an anarchist. So, Jumpy, well done.
An anarchist is never late or early. They always arrive precisely when they mean to.
that also means that like anarchists are wizards. Anarchist wizards. Alan Moore. He looks like Gandalf.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Come out, you black intense. Come out.
Alan Moore the Grey, Zizek the Brown, because he's obviously a raccoon.
He's not an anarchist though. He's a Marxist.
Yeah, close enough.
I mean, the first time I ever saw Zizek talk, I was just like, my God, that guy touches his face a lot. It must be like...
As he sounds like this.
Yes.
If you have misophonia, you cannot listen to Zizek for more than 5 seconds.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's like, hey, Cassandra, but it was like what happens after a revolution. Basically, he was saying like after like the final scenes of Beef and Vendetta, a kind of revolution like that. He's always says, what did these anarchists have as a plan to like to bring about a new society? And I was just like, like, dude, have you actually talked to anarchists? Anarchists do have like some ideas of what to do after revolution. Just like perform mutual aid as they were doing before. Find out what people need. If they need any services and they need any medical things. If they got like water hooked up to their homes. If they have homes, do they need homes? What do extra homes do we have? What extra supplies do we have? And coordinate all those things. No, we have an idea of what to do after revolution. It's not that hard. But he says that like we don't have plans, so that's why Marxist Leninism, I guess, or something like that. And just like, and I wasn't even an anarchist at that time, and I still know that I was wrong on that. I just like, so I never like, maybe some of his ideas is good, but just like, yeah, no, I just like, hey, he's in. Maybe he's fun to listen to, maybe, but it's just like
he's right about a lot of things, but he's really he is a raccoon. He is a trash panda.
Yes.
Hence, Zizek the Brown.
Yes. If they're on the right, then they're actually secret Antifa doing a false flag, at least to the conservatives. Exactly, Groundhog. I can't believe I saw that in real time. Someone looking at the January 6th rioters and
Kevin
thinking,
Sorbo, K-Sorbs.
Yeah, yes, that's probably where he got it from.
Hey, Mithro, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Have you seen the movie Threads?
Ow, out of nowhere.
I watched it a very long time ago, yes, but it was good. Yeah.
I wonder what Margaret Thatcher thought about it.
And they tried to ban it.
Nah, that answers your question.
They actually tried to ban
Let's
it.
see. Looks like a post-apocalyptic mutant thriller thing.
Not really. It was a bit more realistic than that. It was kind of based on. I might be wrong, Isaac. There were two that I was thinking of, but it was based on Britain after a post-nuclear strike.
And it was set in Sheffield. No wonder Margaret Thatcher tried to get it banned. It was in the north of England, and therefore she hated it.
They hated Sheffield. Anyway.
Threads is very bleak. It's a very bleak,
incredibly bleak movie. It's they did
because in
America,
because in America we had a movie called The Day After, which was directed by Nicholas Meyer, who directed Star Trek Star Trek Wrath of Khan. So
I haven't seen The Day After.
There was also an animated film based on a book by
The Way the Wind Blows.
When the Wind Blows. Yeah.
When the Wind Blows. Excuse me.
Which was incredibly doom-laden. It was wonderful. It was brilliant, but God, it wasn't happy watching.
I really recommend the book, Alas Babylon, which was a realistic take on what life would be like after nuclear war.
Well,
not bleak, but kind of hopeful. Written in the mid-'50s, late 50s, by Pat Frank, who was progressive for the time and included just being kind to black people.
Well, when the Wind Blows was in the 80s, the British government sent this pamphlet round to every household in the country called Protect and Survive.
Oh, I know it. The time has now come to defend your homes. This does not mean war is bound to come, but it is a risk of this.
It was full of really shit, useless.
Hide under the desk, duck, and cover.
Oh, it was worse than that. It was worse than that. And When the Wind Blows was based on this elderly couple following what the government had said in Protect and Survive, because they believed that the government would always have their best.
People will be able to see the image of the elderly couple on screen in about 20 seconds. He looks like old man Harry Potter.
Yep.
you know, Mithro, I actually watched it on YouTube. Like, I watched the whole thing on YouTube, and I was like, why is
Isn't that a song by Rush?
It's like they're trying. But it's so weird because it's like all the things they were telling you is things that you would do like in like a hurricane or something, not in like a nuclear attack.
Yeah, it was voiced by a really good actor.
No, Fleetwood Mac is "Listen to the Wind Blow."
Yeah.
Fucking 60s.
And I apologise. I was saying fuck Rush because of their dedication.
Libertarian
to
bullshit.
Ayn Rand dedication on.
Apparently, in later years, they came to repudiate their Randroid stance.
Right. Okay.
Also, like at the end of every segment, they would make this like weird. Like, what okay.
The 60s.
I don't know. Excuse me, like I have autism, myth, bro. So sometimes I go
know
on
you have.
tangents about weird stuff. So
It-
I'm
Isaiah,
sorry.
I know it's fine. I wander off on tangents all the time.
Yesterday on my stream where I was playing Pork Knife for a bit and joined by Cassandra who's in the chat, I explained of how I would like put powder energy drinks like this gamer gear that I got on my desk right now, and then then we'll mix the rest of the bottle with some of the mayo. This is the store brand version of it, but then
I believe it's pronounced Mio.
Mio.
God. I have no
I
idea.
don't care.
Doesn't matter. I'm just
It's a
giving
brand
predictions.
name anyway, so it's not. Yes. Yes, and then I'll dilute that mixture of the energy drink and the Mio, something like that, into the other bottles, and then top off each of the bottles across the 3 bottles I have, and I do this at work too all the time. I don't know why. I finally realized, wait a minute, why the hell am I explaining this on my Twitch stream? No one's asked. This is not that. It is not.
We
really
need
that
to know
interesting.
what you're drinking at all times.
I guess yes. Exactly.
You're a trans hooker pirate. Come on.
The pirate hat's actually over there, and the hunter hat's over there. But like,
No. I
this
think
is
pirates probably wore straw hats a lot more often than they wore pirate hats.
You know what? It's hot in the sun in the Caribbean, and
And they had easy access to straw and not much else.
yeah, exactly.
I need to start watching Our Flag Means Death. For the queers. The queers apparently love the shit out of it.
Pretty
it's
entertaining.
Taika Waititi being gay Blackbeard.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
But to be-
it's
but to-
very
but- but to be
entertaining.
fair- But to be fair, whenever I think of like 1980s England, there's only one song that sums it up. That's "Western Girls" by Pet Shop Boys. That's
Yeah,
No, I
Western
think of The
Girls
Wall
is-
by Pink Floyd.
No, fair.
that was pre-80s.
I know it was
Yeah, that was
pre-80s,
70s.
but it defines the fucking 80s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
The week it came out, I went and saw The Wall twice. First time because I was stoned, and the second time I watched it clean. But I still didn't understand a lot of it. But later on, as I got older, I've understood more. But yeah.
Is The Wall
think
really
that
meant to be
song-
understood, or is it just meant to be felt?
Oh no, both.
Yeah.
Actually,
I
Isaiah, if you want some a really song that really reflects the 80s, I would recommend Ghost Town by the Specials,
okay.
which is incredibly bleak but really good. And the Specials were brilliant because they were they were a ska band. They combined lots of white guys, lots of coloured guys. There was no racism. They were fervently anti-racist. They were brilliant. And in the 80s,
What's it called again?
Ghost Town.
Let me get a pen right that down.
Yeah. And there was a lot of it's really interesting. 80s pop in Britain. A lot of the bigger bands were really political and were really clear about their politics as well, even in their music. It was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
that song,
yeah,
that
the
song really
formula
got
shortage.
me into
Oh,
it.
that has been flooding shit. So many people. Like, it's chef's kiss, right? Immediately after news leaks that the SCOTUS is overturning Roe v. Wade, we have a national formula shortage threatening the lives of infants.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Because capitalism. I mean, it's just absolutely, just on the nose how Republicans just straight up want to murder people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But Laura Ingrate on Fox News said that they should stop sending baby food to baby milk powder to immigrant babies and allow them to starve the ones at the border, and
A
just give it to
domestic
white
supply of
babies.
infants. I mean, god damn it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I spent the last 2 weeks screaming about white supremacy on.
Back in a
Everywhere.
second, phone's ringing.
no problem, because that does remind me. Speaking of like denying like immigrants things, that's what the Texas Governor Greg Abbott is wanting to do. Just like put a bill in. No, wait, he wants it. I think maybe executive order. That's what he can do as like governors work. But he wants to just like not give food to like migrants coming into like Texas at all. And yes, David Scrotum, I agree. SCOTUS is right now just Scrotum.
Mm-hmm. It is a man bag. We
We
should impeach all the conservatives because they lied about Roe v. Wade. That's perjury. They perjured themselves in front of the Senate.
In so many ways, but like, will this Senate actually perjure? Actually, will
No.
impeach? Yeah,
Joe
it's
Manchin,
like,
Kirsten Sinema,
because even the House has the first like no wait, it's
bisexual
Congress,
bigot
the House.
Barbie. God damn it.
Yeah, Kristen Sinema, yes, Cinema Sins.
It's the Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Sure. Well, she's wide enough. That
I
makes
love
sense.
how much Xena and Lucy Lawless overshadowed the Adventures of Hercules, because it means that every time he speaks, Lucy Lawless gets to smack him down, and it's fucking glorious because she's so much more famous than he is. And she's famous for being a lesbian warrior badass bitch. It's awesome.
Sorry.
That's a badass name too, Lucy Lawless.
Mm-hmm. It probably
Okay.
doesn't originate as Lawless, but it is pretty amazing.
There we go.
Hey, I'm actually wondering if Roe gets overturned, would there be like riots?
I hope so.
I hope so.
Well, now the problem. Now the thing is, which was mentioned on like it could happen here or something like that. It'd be the question of like,
Kevin Wolf.
hello, Tavi, awu. Because the question is like, if the riots do happen, would it be the targets as word, like the judge, like the court justice, like is there? It has to be federal justices as it were, because like maybe the
we
Supreme Court
should
itself.
impeach every fucking Trump appointee just for no fucking reason. We should just admit that we're doing it because fuck the bastards. Right in the eye with a knife. And now taking
Alright.
I
I was like, yeah, that's right. I need the headphones on because I don't have this set up here with speakers right now.
And I believe that's
Hey,
a
Terry.
Bulbasaur behind you.
Bulbasaur.
Yes, it is.
Bulbasaur is best.
Yes. So hello, Tavi. Other than not being dead, how are you been?
Chaotic. I'm.
You don't appear to have been
moving
recently weeping, so that's good.
to one of the most transphobic places in the USA.
California.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Texas
Arizona.
or Florida? Oh, Arizona.
Arizona.
Oh, you're going to move there. That's right. That's right.
And
Where
also
are you moving to?
Arizona.
one of the cities in Arizona that doesn't have municipal level protections, because that's where I have connections to where I can move. Arizona's situation is the state level is shit with trans stuff.
But you also have some local level bullshit like Joe Arpaio. So hopefully you're not going.
Is he still fucking around? I'm
No,
gonna
no,
have to
no,
ask
no,
my
no.
friend
I don't
who
think
lives
so.
there.
I think he, after getting convicted of like federal crimes and then.
Oh no, he got pardoned and then he ran for office. I remember because I voted against him.
Right.
The last time I was in Arizona.
Yeah, but like he did. From what I've heard from the behind the bastards on Joe Arpaio, or like maybe like it could happen here or stuff like that. And no. The demographics like shifted a little bit, so there are more younger people in Mesquite County where he was elected as a sheriff, as it were,
Problem
and so
is
he
that
lost.
includes Scottsdale, and
Yes.
I used to live in
But
Phoenix, so I'm somewhat aware of the different regions. Like Tempe is where Arizona State is, and then you have Central Phoenix, which is so Latin, and then you have Scottsdale, which is so Karen. I mean, you go like you have these townships that are like 40 miles long north and south, and 2 miles wide east and west. It's the most chaotic energy ever.
it's all like flat, single story houses. A lot of it's like these great big urban sprawl prefab. They call them mobile homes, but they're really not. They're
It is just mile after mile of fucking West Coast sprawl.
Yeah.
Single story stucco with red shingles, gas station every corner. I mean, the commute. For a while there, I lived in, I want to say Glendale, but I know that's wrong.
4
Southeastern
lanes.
Phoenix.
Like the in the town I was in, every like in town street was 4 lanes with a shared turning lane in between. Everywhere.
Oh yeah. At least they had some bike lanes in some places.
Some places, between the pollution and the heat, you don't often want to use them.
Gilbert's where I lived. One night I got drunk and woke up in a different city just by walking.
Just by walking. Okay,
I mean, that can happen.
Because I mean, I was in Tempe and I walked into Mesa. I still have problems with my left hip because of that night. It was a very bad night.
Ow.
Yes. So anyway,
I was like 5 miles from home by the time I was done.
So some of the usual white supremacist pundits were already saying out loud the thing that I was just considering when I was like, oh yeah, wait a minute, we have this whole abortion thing going on, but then there's also this this crisis with the baby formula.
Mm-hmm.
But the way things work with wealth distribution, which families are more likely to suffer and have their children suffer malnutrition because of a lack of food.
Mm-hmm.
It's not white people.
Nope, it's not white people. There's black and brown babies. As we're
just want to go ahead and stress the anti-abortion thing is based in eugenics, not Christianity. It is straight up white supremacy.
Yeah. Nope. Yep. Frame. They recruited.
It's about forcing white women to make white babies and brown people to make slave babies. That's all it is.
Yep. The Catholic Church was recruited later on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
By the KKK.
Yep.
Oh, of course.
I mean, the abortion thing was imported into white evangelicalism by Focus on the Family.
Yep.
What's his name? James, don't want to say Dobson.
Sounds
he
familiar.
was the founder of Focus on the Family was apprenticed to one of California's most prominent eugenicists, Paul Popenoe. It's literally just white supremacy all the way down. In the South, religious white supremacy. Outside the South,
Thompson.
Secular white supremacy. It's just neo-Nazis and the KKK. That's it. That is the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Which is what I've been screaming about on Facebook and Twitter for the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think this whole Roe decision could like hurt the Republicans in the midterms?
I hope no. It's gonna be 2020 all over again.
Yes.
It would be nice if it hurt them in terms of it'll motivate some of the more lackadaisical liberal people that are like about voting,
but it'll also motivate the white supremacists
because like, oh wait, we actually got our shit done.
We got our win. Hooray!
Their
we get to
base.
hurt people. So it's gonna be like I was saying, 2020 all over again. You'll get both sides turning out in huge numbers, and I think it'll still mean Democratic losses in the House and Senate.
It's like I said before. It's like the leak. I'm not sure that the Supreme Court is investigating the leak, even though it's not really a crime. It's like at most it probably is a slap on the wrist.
It's not a crime.
Most like
it's nothing about it is confidential.
Yes,
I think the person involved will get fired. And
that can happen. Yes, because
they will be able to answer it, but no crime.
Yeah. Exactly, no crime, but like some people were thinking this could have been like a clerk for one of the liberal judges. It's like this is terrible that people gotta know about this, so that's why they leaked Politico. But some people have theorized, and who knows how accurate it is, that it could have been one of the conservative clerks to be like, "Oh God, the base is going to love this," because especially how the what we're seeing from the draft, how it's worded, it could open up to like more things as possible. Yeah.
I just want DeSantis to lose.
Governor Ron DeSantis.
I want all the Republicans to I'm not advocating a stochastic, not advocating a stochastic, not advocating a stochastic.
And remember,
Yeah.
Starfleet for Revolution Force A. Remember that. And yes, Emily Chambers. Let's not forget that. Like ableism and eugenics. It's just like that's pretty much.
I don't know what it was. For some reason, in the middle of the 20th century, they stopped focusing on the negative eugenics of forced sterilization and started focusing more on the positive eugenics of forcing people to have babies. I don't know.
Wait a minute.
What
Do you mean they stopped focusing on it? You ask any of the indigenous people around the continent, and they'll tell you they never stopped with the forced sterilizations.
They stopped advocating it quite so publicly.
Yeah, they stopped advocating it for white people.
Yes.
They stopped being quite so open and honest about it. If I really hope that Trump taking off the mask will get people to finally turn away from the Republican Party. People who have bought into the bullshit and believed the lies and didn't realize they're neo-Nazis and KKK. I so hope. Dad, I'm talking to you, Dad. I know you're watching this podcast. Dad, you're not watching my podcast.
Okay. So, all right. So, you know what? All I've asked of my dad is that did he vote for Trump in 2016? And he said no. But and he probably is not going to vote. He didn't vote for Trump in 2020. Okay. However, he did say, I don't want to talk about this further. And knowing also conversations with my older sibling on Facebook, because I can see why. Because my older sibling is not on speaking terms with my father right now. And I know the reason why. I forgot to say happy birthday to my older sibling because it was their birthday on Friday. Yes, Friday's the 13th because May 13th is like their birthday, as it were. Yes, Groundhog.
To be fair, though,
Sorry, had to go.
To be fair, though, Ron DeSantis didn't really win by that much here in 2018.
Yeah, Republicans never win by big margins. They only win because of gerrymandering and stopping brown people from voting. That's it. Like the illegitimate Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia as well.
I need to study up on it more, but one of the articles I was reading was suggesting that there are some voting rights things. It's like, don't we have suggested that there might be some things about like very specific stuff about voting rights, like this goes against voting rights, all the shit they tried during Jim Crow. Mm-hmm.
And
to come up with ways to
officially the Voting Rights Act was meant to stop that, and the Supreme Court said the Voting Rights Act no longer applies. You don't like it, you should vote. Which, fucking, that's the problem. You can't fix it by voting because they ruined the voting. And by the way, Mithril, I don't know if you're back yet. I muted you to make sure that nobody could hear your phone call.
You were saying.
I'm gonna be honest. I think our country's headed towards like a civil war. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
The North lost the Civil War. I mean, they won the war. They lost the peace. The South won. We are the Confederate States of America.
Kind of, yeah.
Blackwood Construction, as W.E.D. Du Bois wrote about. I've
asked you to unmute, Mithril. You should be able to do that, so you can rejoin the conversation.
Mm-hmm. What I was going to say about voting is I'm moving back to Arizona, where I'm moving to. Is Kirsten Sinema a senator or congresswoman?
Senator.
She's a senator. And she's from Phoenix.
Yeah, I have a Democrat. I'm going to have a Democrat senator, but it's Kirsten Sinema.
Oh, there is no way she's surviving a primary challenge.
I hope not.
I hope so.
I hope she doesn't even try to run again. I hope she just goes into corporate big business, fun baby bullshit, and just disappears, and we never ever have to deal with her ever again.
Okay, maybe I do need to get registered to vote in a hurry if I'm going to vote against her in the primary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Because primary. For my state, primary is coming up in August, but we have top two primaries, so that's how you can have Democrat, or a Democrat socialist, as it were, because
we lost
I know what you're talking about, David. Scott, England won their Civil War, and yes, and that's where it's they executed one of their kings because of that too, if I remember correctly.
The most interesting thing about King Charles I is that he started his reign at 5'9" tall and ended it at 5'4" tall.
So I'm correct about that.
Because of Oliver Cromwell. Monty Python. They had some gems. They had
Alright.
some really fucked up shit, but they had some gems.
Yeah, welcome back, Mithril.
And you're back, Mithril, and we can hear you.
Oh, and also on the sterilization thing, Emily does have experience with being told that she should get sterilized. Is she her?
Yeah, she, her. Emily, correct us if it's she, her, or something else. Pronoun check. Why not? I'm they, he's they.
It's always good to check. It's always good to check. Yes. But yeah, they stopped advocating it broadly, loudly, in public, but always continued it under the they, he, she. Oh, that's you, geek. Okay.
That's me. That's my pronouns.
Cromwell, I don't know how popular he would be in Ireland.
He's
I'm
not
surprised.
very popular. David is being
David.
snarky. Yeah, David is being David. Yeah.
Are you saying that I need to mute him?
No, I like having David around. He makes me laugh.
He only gets muted for particularly bad puns. That's all. That's all.
I want to bring up something else that I kind of learned about that this week. This is a bit of the departure, but it's
FYI,
gaming news.
all we can see is your forehead.
I mean, it's a beautiful forehead.
Beautiful brown forehead, yes. Baby butt smooth.
But anyway, so Activision Blizzard. Oh yeah, so terrible company as it were. But here's the interesting thing:
terrible leadership.
Well, yes,
leadership. Terrible bosses.
And part of that leadership, as it were, is to try to their diversity space method to basically make sure that there's good diversity in their games like Overwatch, as it were. But then what they were doing, they consult the first people from very different backgrounds of race, culture, gender orientation, sexual orientation,
wow, that is
gender
one
identity. Yeah, that's one hell of an image. Age, social economics, and status. No, all the white people that were in the leadership at Activision Blizzard, as well as the director Jeff Collins, just created a tool.
What? Sorry, I got distracted by Jordan Joe P's comment there. The doctor was trying to sterilize your infant sister? Jesus fuck.
Wow, that's fuck the medical system.
Or was he trying to sterilize your mother? I mean, either way, what the fuck?
Yep. It still happens. I bet it still happens today to people with mental illnesses. It's because you have such a mental illness, you should not have babies. To which everyone that's been told that should say to that doctor, "Fuck you. It's my choice."
I mean, people should have the option to stop their periods. Absolutely.
Yes.
Your doctor should not step in and
pushing
recommend
it.
that to you.
I agree, Grant. I fucked the whole diversity bullshit thing. So yeah, basically this was this tool was it was created off their times, as where there's something that they were doing, but it was the basis of this tool, the diversity tool, is they start with a cis heterosexual white guy as default, and anything that deviates from that is 1 point of diversity. So me not being cis, 1 point of diversity. And if Isaiah being autistic and black, 2 points of diversity.
Token twofer.
Yes, exactly. Hey, maybe me being poor and working class, and Isaiah being working class, the 3rd point of diversity, or 2nd point for me.
Even more of that, they gave different traits different numbers of points.
Oh, so Muslim extra points of diversity.
So I haven't seen the whole tool. I kind of have a horrible feeling that if I poke in it, they may have done the thing because if you look at the screenshots,
they're literally playing Impression Olympics.
Yes.
Well, they have a drop down for race, and it has a number of points by it, and I'm kind of terrified, but I kind of expect that they've done the thing of like ranking different races.
Oh no!
Which
Oh,
I'm going
Jesus
to point
Christ.
out here.
Oh, they did
This
a
is a
Nazi.
thing
They did a
with
Nazi.
okay. They're doing this with basically doing the white people think they're helping thing when they could just
Yes.
hire more diverse people from backgrounds that aren't just cishet white men with
Right.
problematic backgrounds
Peak
and sexual
liberalism.
harassment.
Yeah.
Yes.
I point out the sexual harassment thing because this is Blizzard we're talking about.
Yeah, oh, yes, Blizzard.
So
White frat boy culture.
I was trying to do some digging, and I thought there was one specific person. It wasn't. I just found an article. And I was like, oh yeah, by the way, there's a bunch of people that did. There was a bunch when people started codifying the idea of race back in like the 1800s.
yeah.
They actually did the thing of they started doing like rankings.
The ones that are closer to animals.
Right. I kind of want to, like, I haven't had the time to do it. I kind of want to look up and see what they did with stuff like Ellis Island, because I know they had systems for classifying like who was good enough, and like the thing is it's the whole thing of this kind of classifying people down to like a mathematical system thing. That has this ginormous history in white supremacy.
Yes. You mentioned about the BIN IDIS.
Trying to do a liberal pro-business version of the Lee Atwater quote.
Right.
What's the Lee Atwater quote?
You start out in 1954 by saying schmar, 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 schmar.
Oh,
By
that
1968, you
shit.
can't say schmar, schmar because that hurt you. Backfires. So you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff. You're getting so abstract now that you're talking about cutting
okay,
taxes.
I-
and all
I-
that
I-
stuff.
Say the nigga thing, and then
That's the word I don't feel comfortable saying. We want to cut this. It's more abstract than even the busing thing, and a hell of a lot more abstract than schmar, 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 schmar. So anyway you look at it, race is coming on the back burner. It's helping people. I mean...
Yet, basically how we learned about the diversity too from Blizzard. It's like the publishing blog itself. Jeff King's own blog. It's Activision Blizzard saying,
he was
we're
bragging
being
about this shit.
Yes.
It's
They were saying
positive
how-
racism.
Oh, for goodness
It's
sake.
Minnesota nice, codified.
It's oh god, Minnesota. My friends from Minnesota, they can tell you about like Minnesota as well. Oh yeah, Minnesota nice. Not too like my friend who's trans, visibly trans, and had the resume ripped up in front of their face at the office and say, "We don't hire your kind here." That's why they moved to Indiana.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wait, who's
No,
that? Oh,
it's LQ.
I've heard from Minnesota.
LQ said
Now,
this publicly on LQ said this publicly on their Twitch channel, so I feel comfortable like saying that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not living in northern Indiana and not getting any more specific than that, and that's fine. Even though Marty Afternouthy can tell us about like her experience in Indiana, just waiting in line for a Reuben sandwich, the best Reuben sandwich ever, but overheard like a old white guy talking to a cop. I don't like these blacks and these men in dresses being around here. Our country, ladies and gentlemen, and germs and indeed.
Emily is ambivalent to pronouns.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say to all of that, Jonathan. I look fucking adorable in a skirt.
You look fucking adorable
too.
regardless.
I mean,
Especially when you stim. I find it cute.
like when I
you being
get talking with people on camera, like I get being on camera gets me agitated to a certain degree. So stim,
Yeah.
one.
There's a reason my camera's pointed at my cat.
Well,
Well,
it's
there's
a
two
beautiful-
reasons. One is because he's an adorable floof. The other is I don't like being on camera too much.
I see.
Looking
The
at
reason
my
I
great
don't
big
have a
face.
camera, of course, is there isn't a lens strong enough.
Oh god, you look fine, Mifro. Don't be too hard on yourself.
I
That
love
goes
your
to
hair.
everyone.
And your
Yeah, your hair is
cigarettes.
great.
I mean,
Well-
cigarettes in general are bad, but you, with your cigarettes, you look cool. Cigarettes are cool generally.
Before I forget, and I already mentioned in the chat as well, but I'll mention it on there. Give Phoenix money.
Yes,
Or
Phoenix is
share around-
in special need this week. Do we have a link that we can post in the chat?
I can. I
Beyond
have it
charity
with me
links
right now.
page.
Well, yes. There
I'm
we
sure
go.
you can dig it up. You have.
There's my copy pasta for whenever I like to say give Phoenix money
There
in
it
like a
is.
C
There
Shy
it
like
is.
live chat somewhere, which includes
Just
the
FYI, the channel gives Phoenix $50 a month. Regardless.
through the Patreon. Oh, let's thank our patrons then, since they make the help to
Oh,
contribute
right.
that to
We have
make that happen.
patrons. Yes, that's
As,
like apparently the entire reason Joe McClory helps us out.
Yes, so thank you, Joe McClory. Thank you, Floor. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Von Rack. Thank you, Marty. And thank you to the fuck boys, including me, including Mehmet. Mehmet, I hope you're well and stuff like that.
Mehmet, hope you're doing good. I've seen a lot more posts from Mehmet lately. I think he's doing a little bit better.
Yes, and I think that's all the like at
I
patrons. So
believe
thanks
it
so
is. I
much.
believe you get it.
Yes. Yes, unless we got new patrons, which only you know about, then don't tell me.
And I would definitely, I'm absolutely on top of that and paying attention to things. I am not executively dysfunctional.
Okay, who can exactly?
Is there anyone on this podcast who doesn't
Von Rack.
have
I think we forgot Von Rack.
I think I mentioned Von Rack, but Von Rack, thank you so much. But yeah, I don't know who has executive functions on this podcast, Tabby. I agree with you.
And go ahead.
Because okay, this is a thing that
I was about
just,
to express my executive dysfunction by changing topics randomly and wildly in a totally different direction.
I mean, how that I thought I was neurotypical. I had to remember someone had to
You're
tell me,
dyslexic.
yes, exactly. I forgot about that. Having learned like dyslexia is a neurodivergence. But also, here's what I do when I believe I'm all alone, like in the bathroom or the stock room at work, or even walking down the sidewalk.
Hopefully, you are alone in the bathroom.
But or alone in the kitchen. I would have my internal monologue, but voice out. I'll be like saying it out loud, talking to myself out loud, and then someone would walk in the kitchen, like my brother or something like that.
Ow.
Or the door opens, so it's like, and I'll go, "Oh, sorry, don't mind me. I'm just talking to myself. At least I'm aware of it." But like, I have my inner monologue, which apparently neurotypical people don't have. Wait. People don't have inner monologues? What?
People do have inner monologues. They just don't necessarily say them out loud. Some people don't
I
have
say
inner
them out
monologues,
loud,
and that
though.
freaks me out. And some people have what's called aphantasia, where they can't picture things in their heads.
Hi.
See, there are people who just don't have what we consider normal experience.
Yes.
And Tavi, do you frequently get lost? Like when you're driving around town? Because for me,
my
being able to
navigation
make that
isn't-
map.
Navigation, for some reason, for me, it doesn't involve picturing stuff in my head. For some reason, navigation, once I've learned an area, I'm extremely good at. I've known other people that are absolutely like they can't handle direction and spatial stuff for anything. It's not like forming pictures. It's like an awareness of where everything is that extends out a long ways from where I'm observing.
Something that tripped me up when I moved out to Arizona was I would frequently start to get east and west mixed up because it turns out I navigate with reference to the ocean even when it's on the other side of another state.
And I think
So
on
I
the
was
other side, depending on where you
east
are, I
means
think
the
on the other
Atlantic
side of
Ocean.
a mountain range sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? No, I can orientate
Fucking
myself
trippy.
that way. So like, where's the ocean? Okay, the ocean's there. Okay, there. Where we're
Okay,
going.
but in fairness, most of the time, at least where I was in Arizona, you cannot navigate by which direction the mountains are because most of the time the air is so fucking brown, you don't realize that there's a mountain range there because you can't see it.
And
then
also,
there'll be
in
like
Arizona,
a great
you're
big,
the Sonora Desert, that valley in between two sets of mountain ranges.
and then there'll be that rain that one time in the year that'll clear the air out, and that's like, oh fucking god, there's this great big gorgeous mountain range there, and then it'll disappear, like all the smog will build up again, and it'll just stay there, and you'll remember that, oh yeah, we can't breathe out here because there's so much fucking pollution, and then the mountains will just disappear. I am not making this
that
up,
Arizona haze.
which a lot of
I
it
got
is
I gotta run, guys, but I'll see you next
Oh,
Sunday.
it was good chatting.
Yeah,
with you,
yeah.
and I'm
Take
glad.
care, Isaiah.
I
See you
gotta say,
later.
I love your updates on your Air Force One.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes.
All
I'm
of
done.
your projects.
Do you
I
guys
just
like
love
my
how much you love
Aaron
things.
Shirt?
What? I think we did notice
Do
your
you guys like
t-shirt.
my?
Yes. Yes, we do like it.
Yeah.
You guys like?
Can I just quickly
So yeah, it's
mention?
called,
Sorry, go on.
it's called Ghost Town. What's the band who wrote it?
Mm. Okay.
Is that Benson Boone? Ghost Town?
Yeah, Mithro.
Specials.
What's the
The
band?
specials.
Or Adam
The
Lambert?
specials.
The specials.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of
Thank
people
you.
made songs called Ghost Town.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Cassandra in chat says, who I played fork knife with yesterday. Here in Tennessee, you can't navigate by where the mountains are because they're in every direction.
Well, it depends on where you are in Tennessee. Tennessee is a long state.
It is.
Can I just make a quick mention for the fact that my daughter was just.
FYI, as
fangirling
you're still on with us.
Okay.
My-
I'll see you guys next Sunday.
Yeah, take care, Isaiah.
Be safe.
No.
My daughter
take care.
was just fangirling over the fact that we're an incredibly diverse bunch here.
I mean, it's not like I
Particularly
set
she
out
loves
to do
you,
this,
Tavi.
but I'm glad I was able to. It turns out being a radical, anti-authoritarian asshole nets you a lot of not Republicans.
Yeah, basically.
So we got a couple of transes, a woof, an old guy, and me.
Wait a minute, what?
No,
We're
Metro's
actually,
the old guy.
we're actually qualifying the wolf fire as part of that.
I mean, if you identify as woof, then we love your woof.
Okay.
I mean, I am a fox, but I don't say it that much because I haven't got yet like a drawing of myself
Oh,
as a
I didn't know
fox.
you had a persona.
Yes, that's my persona, Fox. I maybe I'll make a model in Beezy face, since like my friends Nastanuko and Little Quinn have like done so as well. Oh wow! So yeah, and there's been a great conversation happening in the live chat. I have been like noticing it as it were, because like, yeah.
And now I'm remembering a video of a domesticated fox running around an enclosure and being super adorable, and that is definitely geek energy.
Yes, that's probably Finnegan Fox from Save a Fox YouTube channel.
The video's like 10 years old, so I have no idea.
Okay, so but there's a YouTube channel called Save a Fox, and there's a bunch of the YouTube channels of like foxes as were
That
in.
was adorable.
And this was sort of an indoor-outdoor kind of thing where they had a big fenced-in area, so the fox could run around, and there was a bench for their person to sit with them, and it showed them running around, super hype energy, then hopping up on the bench and laying their head in their person's lap, and it was adorable. And that is super geek.
It is very.
David, my interpretation of the old ones as written by noted white supremacist Lovecraft is because basically, they're not basically like once you understand how white supremacist Lovecraft was, and then look at his stories again, and then I mean, some of the stories are more obvious than others. Some of them, it's more, oh wow, the Shoggoths are a metaphor for black people. Fucking hell.
And then you have the hidden old ones who are Jews. And one time he came out and made it obvious when the surprise reveal was that the villain was a negress.
Yep.
I find it very difficult to read Lovecraft nowadays, knowing more about him than I did when I was in my teens, clearly.
I mean, the truth is that he had one of those troubled WASP upbringings where his parents were repressive and regressive, and then he lost all of his money, so he was forced to work for a living. So you can feel some sympathy for the dude, but at the same time, he was fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I was...
He reminds me of a slightly better adjusted Jacob Rees-Mogg, actually. The
I was
haunted
thinking Ben
pencil
Shapiro.
in British politics. Well,
Yeah.
Jacob Rees-Mogg in British politics is known as the MP for the 18th century, and he
Is he the one who fell
said,
asleep, or is he the one who said order, order?
The one who fell asleep.
Okay.
Or
Yeah, the one who
lay
looks
down.
like
He
Richard
actually looks
Dawkins'
like
sons.
Lovecraft. He actually looks like Lovecraft, I think.
Mm. Yeah, I can see that actually. Emily Chambers,
know.
I'm reading this.
I
like,
always think of Lovecraft as a tiny little white guy, receding hairline, very nervous, sort of clutching a briefcase in front of him. Like, what's his name? The guy who worked for Scrooge.
Cratchit, Bob Cratchit.
Yeah, Cratchit, but evil.
Yeah.
And as I understand,
that.
Lovecraft married a Jew, so that just makes
Yes.
everything more complicated and weird.
And the weird thing is, in the last few years of his life, he admitted that a lot of what he'd said was wrong.
That's what I've heard. I've never been able to find evidence. I've googled
There,
that.
there
a couple
was
of times.
there was a letter, a single letter
letter. Wow.
that was published where he said, "My prejudices may have been wrong." It's not complete. It's not
Yeah.
complete, but it is a. Everybody has to start their journey somewhere. It's just unfortunate.
If you're
they
reduced to
started-
poverty and writing for a
Yeah.
living in New York City, you might encounter people who aren't like suburban Connecticut.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate
So
that he
it's
only
possible,
started his
but
journey
I've
a
never-
month before he died. But kind of everything in life.
It's possible. I could believe it, but I personally haven't actually seen any of this stuff. I've tried. I've looked.
Yeah, no. Yes, he was Skog. He was clearly named after H.V. Sauce.
I think he was named after Hewlett Packard computers.
Emily, I'm reading that like a blog post you linked us to about the like Ashley treatment, and it's just like fucking hell, horrified is a word, just like absolute deliberate eugenics against a like, disabled person. It's like horrible. That's do not go to the pillowangel.org unless you want nightmares. After what I've just read a little bit, yeah, it's like it's content warning.
Wow,
do not
that
read
is
this.
a hell of a thing. I mean, just reading the first sentence is like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's like
I mean, they're trying to make Batman villains at this point.
yeah, exactly. It's
I mean, the sort of Batman villain that you feel sorry for and that Batman sits down and sympathizes with before sending them to prison.
yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to. I think the villain name in this case was Baby Doll.
Yes, that was an interesting
a
character.
person who had a condition that rendered her permanently a child,
Yes.
and that is what they
Yeah.
deliberately tried to do here with this
Not at all
eugenicist
creepy then.
procedure. Jesus fuck.
Not at all creepy then.
It's all creepy. It's a word, but it's
You know,
like
fuck it. I'm gonna call it do a stochastic, kill all white people. Fuck it, just all of us. We should not.
it's like
We've lost
At
the
least-
right to be.
let's at least cancel whiteness and ban whiteness as a word. Definitely
go.
that.
And you know what?
because-
Just whenever you see her, punch Karen.
The Source Freak Revelation 46A, no uncoded messages over open channels. Or at least, listen, if
I mean, you see a bitch choking a dog and yelling at a black man, punch her.
Okay, that's at least film that. At least film that you're within your rights to do so, and then
And egg all cops. Just, you know what? All cops are white. Let's.
but a lot of them are. They defend their support, even if they
Even if they're
definitely
black, being a cop makes you white. I mean, just.
at least supporting white supremacy for sure. Yes. I'll leave it up to the black community to say if they disown that person or not this war, because they do say some skin folks are not kin folks. But that's their discourses were like
Jesus Christ. Sorry, just saw Joe's comment. Racist Cratchit is funny. God blesses everyone, but not the brown ones. And yes, Groundhog, we covered the Philippines election and the fact that the son of a former dictator and the daughter of the current dictator just won the elections in the Philippines. Yeah.
With violence
Oh,
at violence at the voting sites in that election, and like glitches in the machines as well, and yet glitches.
Okay, I have to ask since you mentioned voting machines.
Yes.
Go nuts. Oh, no, don't.
What company made them?
Oh, I don't know that.
Oh, shit. Let us not be fitting into the Republican bullshit.
The
Because,
Pomeranians, wasn't it?
well, I don't know if I have that information. What the
the thing is, when you actually have a dictatorship, then you can get shit like that. So I don't think it's who made them. I think it's just they fuck with politics.
What I'm being a pain in the butt about is there's somebody I follow on Twitter. I forget her name at the moment, but she actually studies voting security. There's like 2 major voting machine companies in the U.S. One of them in particular has been under serious scrutiny. Only Congress does shit all since like the Georgia elections more so.
Which one is the one under scrutiny? There's the one that's under scrutiny by the conspiracy theorists that I know.
Dominion. That's Dominion.
Yes, Dominion. They're the ones that have been targeted by the Kraken folks.
Okay.
And as I understand, there's
Diebold
I've not heard
was
any
one of them.
real-
I'd have to go back to the person that I follow. That she breaks down like all the studies and stuff, because it's her actual profession. But it's just I know there's a lot of U.S. There's always been a lot of U.S. Fucking around with the Philippines.
Dominion
they're
were
one
the
of our
ones that were
colonies,
hacked
let's be
by Italian thermostats or something. I don't know.
So I would be.
When you have any machine that's always susceptible to being hacked and broken, and that's why it's good to have these things open source.
Only
so
some
that
of
we
them
find
have a
these things.
fucking USB port that just goes right in the thing.
Wait. Someone that's an open USB port, so someone could just take the thumb drive, plug it in there, blah.
Yeah, that's hypothetically possible. I don't know if it's been demonstrated.
I forget if that one like there are some account. It's been like months and months since I was last following this stuff, but there are accounts with like people who full on they just go and they get their hands on a surplus voting machine and then they demonstrate. Okay, so would I potentially be able to hack this? And they're like, oh fucking hell, this is way too fucking easy. And then they publish it because they want it fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're kind of
the thing is though, you have to have
hackers.
lots of access to these things for a long period of time, which most people don't.
No,
If I
only a couple
remember,
minutes.
if I
No, I
remember
mean, I'm
right-
saying that in order to discover the vulnerabilities, you need
Yeah.
Oh, to discover the vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
most people
but
don't
once
have
you know
access
they're-
to voting for machines for more than the few minutes they're allowed to vote. It's
Right.
not like
If
you're
I-
allowed
if
to
I-
sit there, tinker, and play and program.
If I remember rightly, I'm not sure it was the Dominion one or the other one, but there was a hackers conference where a 14-year-old girl hacked their system within about 7 or 8 minutes.
No, I don't believe that. 14-year-old girls are not capable of anything other than unicorns and bitching. Sorry.
saying like a lot, yeah. I
Throw
know.
this at you if you were in the room.
Wait, what is that?
It's a Nintendo Game
is that a hip flash Game Boy?
Fuse. It's a flash
Good
Game
Lord.
Boy. Yes,
Dear Lord.
I got this at SakuraCon.
Oh, fucking love it. Honestly,
I
I
have
think
been
14-year-old
before,
girls are
actually.
going to save us from people like me.
Oh, they should.
Remember,
you wait,
14-year-old
Jonathan,
girls
till we get
invented
older.
kawaii writing in order to protest against Japan.
Oh, I can believe that. Yeah.
As I understand, kawaii was like banned because they developed this style of writing that was so cute that the authorities decided to try and crack down on it, and they rebelled and went even further.
what?
And thus, we have Hello Kitty.
Smartmatic. Smartmatic was the maker of the voting machines in the Philippines. Smartmatic. I never heard of them
That
before.
Smartmatic is the name. It sounds familiar.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Now, the thing is, I think a random person couldn't hack a voting machine because they don't have the access to it for the time with the tools. The government of the
No.
Philippines could.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Is I think and since like it was the commissioners overcharged the war, but it's like I wonder how much like it like helped because I imagine it did because like they the new Marcus and like Duterte have like were like up by like 59% of votes, up by 59% of votes as it were. So that's how far ahead they were in lineage and something like that. And yeah, I agree. Like a groundhog, electronic voting machines are just fundamentally a bad idea. As were, and Tom Scott made a couple of videos about like electronic and internet voting as where just plug in a USB killer and pop and goes the poll machine. Yep, exactly.
The idea of voting machines, electronic or not, I'm not against. Anything that streamlines voting and makes it easier is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's only when people can break them and hack them. But the thing is, the whole Republican thing about voter fraud, stealing votes has always been done by the powerful, not by the weak.
Yes. Exactly. Again, Brian Kemp in Georgia, but like it's all across.
I mean,
Florida
the whole Nebraska-Kansas thing, where the prelude to the Civil War, that was
a lot
stolen
of
votes
what,
on a massive scale. Sorry, Tabby, go.
A lot of what Brian Kemp did, there was some stuff I read that did suggest that voting machines were fucked with. I really questioned the instances of, these voting machines don't work because we don't have enough power cords on election day. That happened. I'm like,
and those missing power cords just happened to be in brown districts, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Exactly, David.
That's how you
Well, one of the biggest things that Brian Kemp pulled off, and of course there was like all these investigations into it, and because like the Republicans were in control of, like, had their people in the election committee kind of office positions.
Limiting
they
times,
basically just
limiting
wiped
lines.
all the like when the information was asked for the investigation, they're just like, it doesn't exist anymore because we
erased
deleted it.
evidence of their
Yeah, they could.
Apparently, that's
because legally they crime. At any rate, but one of the things that it was known that was pulled off was it was very easy to just go through and delete people out of the digital voter rolls, and that happened. And it was really easy to just search through by zip code. Zip codes can get very specific. Because like a major city has a lot of
racist. They are being just they draw the lines to it's redlining all the way down. It's
so if you know the zip codes and you just want to say fuck with a lot of black votes, and that's what happened. So a lot of what they did was
right.
Was that Metro?
What Groundhog says, we literally walk in, we tick a piece of paper, and we walk out. It takes moments.
To answer David's question, the reason it gets hard is because the lines become so long. You have to wait hours to vote, and like in
On
some
Tuesday.
places, they don't provide cover, and now they're forbidding people to provide food and water, so that you're literally starving to death.
Yeah,
and like I'm here in South Carolina, where even in November, it can be sweltering outside, uncovered, in the sun. It's just insane. And then you go inside and you have to fill out this long, complicated ballot. And that's if you've already filled out the numerous forms you have to fill out in order to be allowed to vote.
Yep.
So, like, my vote didn't count in the last election because I moved addresses and then I didn't get in time. So,
yeah.
I mean, they do so much to get in your way and make it difficult to vote. Like, physically difficult. It's a gruel. It's an ordeal to try and vote. If you're in a brown district.
Right. Exactly.
The land of the free.
Yes, exactly. From me in Washington State, I don't remember how difficult or hard it is to register to vote. Wait a minute, I think at 18 I automatically register, so I just have to go to this website or go to the office make sure this information is correct. And when I change address, it was just as simple as DMV, here's my new address, which you have to do it anyway. And I was like receiving the mail right then and after that change happened. And so as easy as that. And like, then they send me the ballots. And so, and including my local elections. So when I was moved to a new city, it's like, here's the elections in your city, as well as all the other local elections. It was easy as that once I was like registered to vote.
Yeah.
Also,
Groundhog, it's
Emma-
not unusual for people to be waiting in line when the polls are supposed to close and still be there 6, 7, 8 hours later.
Mm-hmm.
That
Also,
is how
Emily,
we do elections.
we don't do things brilliantly here, but in the UK, it's a legal requirement that polling stations have to be accessible to people with
Wheelchairs
wheelchairs.
and mobility aids.
Because they're
as
at
well,
churches. A lot of polling places are churches, and churches are exempt from ADA requirements.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
And for
we at
some
least had-
reason, it turns out that churches tend to skew people conservative when they vote. I don't know how that happens.
There's a whole history that I'm sure Robert Evans has covered here and there throughout the whole time that Behind the Bastards, that's where we mentioned focus on the family. So yeah. See,
The U.S. is just a lot of places that record these things or rank these things have ruled that the U.S. is now a flawed democracy.
Mhm.
We
I-
are
I-
1980s Argentina for the rest of the world. That's where we are.
I mean, I say that like we're not even a full democracy anyway because felons do not vote. How can you call yourself a democracy
Slaves.
when you don't
They're
have...
slaves. They're not felons. They're
Yep.
slaves. Let's call them what they are.
Yeah.
They're forced to work for like 14 cents a day.
Sorry,
I mean,
Mert. I apologise. I just was trying to not cause any offence. I apologise for that.
Agreed, disabled
I
people.
mean,
I agree.
yeah.
So, right.
I always try to use the word that people ask me to use. So, like dwarf, disabled, what have you. I'm not always up on the lingo. So if I ever fuck up, let me know. I will apologize and try to fix it.
Yeah, in historical buildings, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like the
Like most of the big cities in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. Especially on the East Coast as well, but like in Seattle too. Yeah, exactly.
also the way the ADA works here is, yeah, technically there's a law that says that certain things have to be accessible, but the way the law works is it's only if somebody goes in and goes through this whole hecking process of filing a complaint, and then you have to get with a lawyer and you have to provide your testimony to a lawyer.
It's like
and
wage
there's this
theft.
whole
It's set up to favor the wealthy.
it's on paper illegal. Effectively, there's nothing done about it.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of the things, a lot of these rules is just like this is against the rules. Okay, then like someone has to like report that.
Basically means a new bodega is going to have a ramp, but nowhere else.
Yeah, because like. Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that we should burn all the churches down, but we should burn all the churches down and kill every Joel Osteen in Minecraft.
I do not endorse
having
this
a
statement.
day.
Hell of a day. And
I'm trying to figure out how to respond to a lot of these things because I'm like,
This is a cry of despair. I'm not trying to do a stochastic. It's painful and it's hard to feel sympathy and compassion for everybody who is not me, who is suffering right the fuck now.
You would have liked my dad's sermons. He had
No,
several
I wouldn't
people,
have because I'm an atheist. Fuck you.
he had several people get up and walk out claiming that they didn't come to church to listen to Marx.
Nice. I love it.
I'm
your dad was the white MLK.
Sorry, I read most of the Bible, and last time I checked, when Jesus went into a synagogue with a bunch of moneylenders, he
Threw him out.
and he got violent.
He flipped the tables.
I can believe it.
My-
I can believe that he got executed for it. We don't know that.
My dad had his faith before, but his faith was cemented by listening to Martin Luther King's speech.
Nice.
And
MLK
it-
was a socialist.
Yep, my dad was a revolutionary socialist. My
I
one
fucking
great
love it.
my one great sadness about Dad is that
Wait, did he
didn't
get
to
paid
see
by the state to be a
revolution.
socialist? I know that your vicars
yeah.
are.
No, we're not paid by the state.
Oh,
no.
they weren't. Oh.
No,
Oh.
they are paid by the Church of England,
Oh.
which is a fucking landlord.
Oh hell.
Well, they timeshare the swans with the queen.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
Honestly.
fucking love the idea of a Marxist vicar.
Dad really was. He really. He's not the only one.
The BBC needs to make that a comedy series. That would be awesome.
Hey Paige, wasn't there that one priest in I think it was in New Zealand with you that kept putting up the signs with really hecking radical statements on like one of those change the letters signs?
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That sign's where you can change the letters around to tell you like mass is on this day, special mass at this time, and so Christmas mass at this time, and so like that. And sometimes there's messages on there. Like one church around in Kent, Washington, when my brothers and I were driving around, and it said, "Destiny, it's a matter of choice." And my brothers all had a reaction like, no, it's not. If it's destiny, it's like destiny. It's not a matter of choice. It's like, but I can see what the church was trying to pull for. But yeah, I agree. Emily Chambers is like, that's terrible that like ADA has no enforcement components as work. It's just like, it's the law. You should do it. But it's just
really
like,
quick though, I googled New Zealand Marxist preacher, and the first result Google gave me was Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern.
Oh God! If only.
She's the woman who brought her baby onto the floor with her on Parliament.
Oh, that's right.
She
I'm
is
a
a progressive liberal. She's not a Marxist, but holy shit.
But according to the right wing, a progressive liberal is the same as a narco.
Yeah, they think Joe
like
Biden
me.
is a fucking commie.
Yeah.
It was Australia, according to like a groundhog. Bishop Ron Bauer in Australia.
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
Unlike America.
Oh Jesus Christ!
The UK. Sorry, go on, John.
I mean, you won't be able to see it for like 20 or 30 seconds, but I googled Bishop Rod Bauer, and it brings up the Wikipedia link, Bishop Rod Bauer, parentheses, activist. I mean, that is Bad Empanada. He's a Marxist YouTuber. He's pretty fucking awesome, generally. Don't necessarily agree with him on all things, but he recently did a thing where he just fucking did a deep dive into the Wikipedia edit war on the Holodomor.
Oh yeah.
Which is a famine that occurred in Ukraine and Belarus and a couple of other places. And he looked into all the shit, like the people they link that they cite as their authoritarian. No, authoritarian is it's Wikipedia. And it demonstrated that they are totally right-wing biased. And it's fucking incredible. It's like a 2-hour deep dive into all of their sources. And it just shows that Wikipedia is CNN.
Yeah.
Because
like the pro-genocide side has these like weak-ass bullshit arguments. The anti-genocide side has fucking detailed, deliberate experts who are devoted to this field. It's so biased. It's ridiculous. Wikipedia is not good.
Yes, it's a good start for your research, but you gotta look at the links and do further research from that. And check.
I wouldn't even say it's a good start for your research. I would say it's a good start on non-controversial topics.
Okay, non-controversial topics. Okay.
Any controversial topic, Wikipedia is far right wing.
Okay. So
It's Joe Biden all the way down at best. That's what I'd say.
Yes. Yeah, well, Joe Jordan P. That's cool that like a church like said like Black trans lives matter. Black trans lives matters. I just saw that as Black lives matter. So about Black trans lives
trans.
matter.
That is
okay. That's
church.
pretty awesome for that church. Yes.
I mean,
exactly.
I disagree with him about all the ghost stuff, but so long as they are willing to give safe space to suffering people, I'm there for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Haven't seen that bad. It's not a video on like the Holy Dormer Wikipedia question. Fortunately, when people shared that, then like I left to posting on Facebook as where the Facebook flagged those posts as like spreading like a false information. I think the thumbnail and the title kind of like makes it sound like Bannon not is questioning the Holy Dormer as it were. So. That's that. So.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Sorry. Groundhog said, "Search gauze for an Anglican church in the images."
Oh, that's probably the church I'm talking about.
He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
Oh, quoting Life of Brian.
I mean, I won't go to their church. I won't give them money, but I will hang out with that preacher. Shit.
Yeah, LA Chambers, that is good news. Students are suing Governor Ron DeSantis over the Don't Say Gay bill, and
I hope they won't win.
Oh.
They won't win in Florida. They won't win at the Supreme Court. But good on them.
Good on them for at least trying. It's where within the system that we have, it's like
that is direct action. Remember, protesting is standing in the street and asking the oligarchs to help you. Direct action is doing the thing and daring them to stop you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think suing over this bill is somewhere in between the two.
Yes, it's within the system as it is, but at least like challenging within the system is it's putting up the fight, and I always support that as we're, which is why Tavi, we and I did like when we raised money for TILDA, the Transgender Legal Defense and Educational Fund, because they're at least fighting in the courts, because like it's better to have at least someone fighting these kind of things in the courts as it were, and putting up a good fight there, as well as when we also supported the Transgender Law Center as well. That also has helpful resources for trans people to be able to figure out how to get your legal name change happens in this state and this state and this state, and provide resources like that, as well as doing like legal defenses as well.
Frantically Googling what is the place where you can donate to help women actually get abortions right now. Hopefully somebody in the chat knows one of those places where the funds actually get women out of Texas and into a place where they can get an abortion.
Didn't Corey Johnson on some more news do something about that?
Cody Johnson, not Corey Johnson.
Cody Johnson. Jesus Christ.
They are slightly different. It's
yes.
Honestly, white people look alike. It's understandable.
No, I'm just getting old. My mind's getting a bit thick sometimes.
Well, a comrade of mine did share me this Google Doc that I will share into the live chat right now. But I did add that Google Doc to charitylinks.page. It's at the top of charitylinks.page for resources as it were. They do also like give like links to donations or donations for abortions as it were, because I heard it somewhere before. Lift Fund, I believe, according to Mirth, I believe that like unfortunately Planned Parenthood, because they're like a legal entity and have to be like follow the laws, where like in Georgia with the abortion bills that they have in Georgia, they did close up the abortion services at the Planned Parenthood clinics in Georgia, unfortunately. So it's kind of like if it's illegal to do abortions, you gotta go outside the law to do abortions. I think so. I heard about like other like mutual aid groups are basically like getting abortion supplies from across the border and bringing them to Texas, for example, or they're transporting people out of Texas into like Mexico to get abortions. That's what and so hopefully there will be hopefully in that Google Doc that I shared, I'm just like doing cursory look at it. It's where it's at least a link to a lot of resources, as well as like specific state by state resources to like people who are doing the mutual aid there in those places that you can like support and like give links to. And probably like help out or even volunteer if you can, if you have the time.
God,
So,
I'm
yeah.
sorry I don't have these links on hand. I know there are funds that will help not just women, but anyone who gets pregnant get out of state and into a place where they can get the abortion they need. I don't think Lilith Fund is that. And thank you, Groundhog, for sharing those links. The charities, Transgender Legal Transgender Law Center.
Yes, Transgender Legal, which is the Transgender Legal Defense and Educational Fund, TILDEF, and the Transgender Law Center, TLC. And yep.
I've been trying to Google, but Google has failed me. So I know there are legal funds out there that are deliberately devoted to helping people get abortions that they need. And not
I know
just
a streamer actually ran a fundraiser for that, kind of as a protest of Trump getting elected.
Yes.
But I forget what charity she ran for. I remember she was like a really big streamer as a pianist. She got a lot of flack for it. She just laughed it all off. It was amazing.
Yeah, nice.
Emily's got. I will say this: do more search than I'm able to do in these 5 seconds, and there are sites out there that are currently actively helping people get abortions, like literally giving them a ride to the doctor. And, so
because even when abortions are legal, but only in this one location, this far out the way, and for some people have to drive miles to just go to these locations to work.
I think I found
so
one.
I have
WRAP, Women's Reproductive Rights Assistance Project, WRRAP.org, I think is.
That's the one I've heard of.
Emily's got a link to a page with a whole bunch of different funds in the chat.
Yes. Fight for reproductive rights, fight against the right, including Democrats, and just riot. I am actively... Okay, I wouldn't call it stochastics, but I'm saying burn shit down. Throw Molotovs.
in fork knife.
No, I'm going to go ahead and say in real life. Just go ahead and fucking commit crimes. Shit is wrong.
Well, at least be gay, do crimes. At least.
Be gay, do crimes,
Do crime.
burn shit down. I am I am tired of being civil.
Same.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
agreed. Yep, agreed.
I'm just less sure what to be actively publicly saying, because out of everybody here, I would fare the least well.
Yes,
in this
I
custody.
definitely.
And I'm thinking of it. And I'm going to a place where that's going to be a real problem.
Be Malcolm X.
Or hiding
not
is going to be
MLK.
a problem.
I'm
Because unfortunately, where I'm going, I am going to be...
technically
much
you're
outnumbered.
illegal, I think, now. I think you are now a
Probably...
Who knows it is? Hopefully that day won't come, but like, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. So,
Yep.
Mutual aid. I agree, Garen. Some laws are completely unjust. So, further reminder as well, since like I'll try to like also include these other links that everyone else provided into like the charity links page. I'll do this after the stream, and like so that's the best place to source it there. Tabby, if you can think of anything else that you want to like promote, this is where it's like let us know before we close the show. I will do the pitches for me. Summer and a Geek on Twitch. Summer and Geek on Twitter, Summer and Geek on YouTube. Finally uploaded a video onto YouTube, and I'm like I'm not going to work because it's like don't have a good enough reason to go into work. Oh yeah, there's work that I can do, but I don't need to actually do it because it's not due on Mondays, due until like Wednesday, so I can come in on Monday and do that. So it's like it's that weird thing where it's just like, wait, I got time off and where I don't have to work as much, but I won't get the overtime pay, and it's a noticeable dip when I'm working 60, 70 hours a week to only like 55 or 50
And
hours
you are
a week.
basically supporting all of trans left on your credit card.
Yes, well,
Not all.
Doing their darndest.
well, Joanna Roberts is like not trans. Her son is though trans and bi. So I guess I am supporting, since I'm supporting Joanna Roberts, to make sure that she can eat and like live and be happy, and that in turn to support her raising her trans and bi son, which I think she's going to fight to get back from the county because the county is like terrible as it were. She finally got her card to say like, listen, I can legally smoke marijuana, so you can't hold that against me, as it were.
And remember, Phoenix is in special
Yes.
need this month and could use your help.
It's almost every month. It's like last week she needed $160 instantly to be able to pay for an in-depth bill. I was able to forward her Cash App and PayPal her the money to do so. But it's like the second week of the month and then the third week of the month. Like it's always tough like right before she gets her SNAP or her food stamps as a word, and whenever there's a bill to pay. But like she still needs to pay for the electricity bill, but at least that's on installments.
And an awesome doggo.
Mm-hmm, yes. No, Phoenix has a familiar cat, Archie.
What about? I thought they had Luke.
No. The dogs were like her parents,
Okay.
and when she lived with them, as it were. But
Obviously, I pay more attention to doggos and catos than I do people.
Davy Mithril, other than like the abortion funds that we already mentioned, the other charity organizations we already mentioned, charity links.page, or the goodness of humanity, anything else to promote?
I think those would be the best ones to promote right now
You
until
have
we
your
get to the point we need to start promoting some bail funds.
Oh yes,
I'm not saying there's going to be a reason to start promoting bail funds. I'm just saying that shit's going to hell. So
times.
I mean, go ahead, Mithril.
All I was going to say is if I move to Spain, you're all welcome to come over and form a commune there. It's slightly safer for everybody.
North Spain does have a slightly communist company that has.
I'm in southern. I'll be
evolved
moving
from
to southern Spain, but you know what? They won't mind, I'm sure.
true.
I don't know. I've heard bad stories about like people just like online friends forming communes. So
Yes.
that.
I have watched some of those train wrecks.
They turn into
and I'm
cults
like,
way too quick.
Never mind.
right.
Or just
Yeah.
everybody backbiting at each other, and
Because I'm going to turn it into a cult. Yeah, right.
you get a bunch. Okay, I can be slightly an asshole about this because I watched some of this go down.
Go nuts.
You get a bunch of young, mostly white people together who are like, hey, we want to be anarchists and communists, and we're going to start a commune.
I know.
But they don't really have a lot of experience in how much personal space does one person actually need. How does that vary when
It turns
you have
into
certain
Love Island. It
concerns
turns
like
into the
different
reality
disabilities and other things? How much does that all cost? How are you going to manage it? If you don't have experience with that kind of life skill stuff, and you go off with a bunch of people you met online to try and start a commune basically based on the aesthetics of what you think anarchism and communism look like.
Cottagecore.
It's gonna end up being a bunch of young people tearing.
It's
each
Love
other
Island.
apart.
It's a British reality TV show. Mithril?
Oh God, don't. as an
A bunch of
atheist,
pretty
I'm
young people
fairly-
get together, start fucking around,
yeah.
and then they find out.
Yeah, it really is a thing of it takes like a lot of basic life skill stuff first. Just
I
like how do you
understand,
take care
Trevor.
of a basic
I
household?
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all I'm saying is if you ever need a refuge, you are more than welcome, my friend.
You just
Right.
have to put
All
up
I'm
with the cigarette smell.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Do
probably just
smell
going
like a
down with the
factory
ship.
chimney.
The walls of your house are permanently stained tobacco yellow.
Not quite, but we're getting there.
Let's see how my allergies and my hay fever allergies and asthma will be affected by that. But yes, okay. But finally, John Brockman, you're part of another podcast, aren't you?
Yes. Dungeons and Debacles, a D&D podcast. We are killing mostly ourselves at this point. We almost got a TPK.
Almost. You're just not trying hard enough.
Basically, the villain decided to abandon the party and go kill someone else is the only reason we survived.
Was that the DM playing nice for once or something?
Pretty much. I mean, he decided to toy with us. And then I got a lucky roll in the second half of the encounter. You guys will see. You'll see in like 4 or 5 months.
Because it's not that hard. It happened one time where your entire party just fight against one person, as it were, or like half the party. Oh,
she was intended to be the villain. She was intended to almost kill all of us. Another thing that's happening is that one of our team members is leaving. He just doesn't enjoy 5th edition all that much. So we're looking for a new member. And if you're interested, I'm hoping for basically a not me. So someone, who's not a cishet white guy, to join our group and join, our podcast and play D&D. We are an 11th level party, and you would be free to even be a token evil teammate. We've done that before. It has bit us in the ass. Just to say, we got betrayed, and we went from a hero campaign to a villain campaign. Then we got betrayed again, and went from a villain campaign to a hero campaign. So we are open to people who are willing to explore the boundaries of what D&D can do. So this is me shouting out and saying, please come in and be not yet another 25-year-old white boy.
Oh, wait. Am I old?
Depends on who you ask. You're 35, but like...
You're 35, you're old.
I'm 36.
36. I'm 37.
Yeah, you're on the borderline of what is acceptable in politics. We should take a step back.
That's right, the 18 to 36 crowd. Yes.
Mithril should sit the fuck down entirely.
Yep. Boomer.
Hey, I heard that.
Mithril's not technically a boomer, I don't think.
No. By 1 year, I'm not a boomer.
A ex-boomer then, yes.
You're barely a stringy hair externer.
But like the indigenous heritage does have a point. It literally takes all kinds. You need multiple generations all trying to make a community work. It's important to know colonizers are ill-equipped due to encultured, hyper-individualization. Building healthy communities takes work. I would just like to say this, like, I'm probably not a great roommate. My brothers like tolerate me. That I mean, I could complain about the dishes in the sink, but I'm not helping that either, as it were. And well, again,
mid-30s is
my room state as it is.
That is a
I would not
lost
be able to go in
era.
there.
Yeah, exactly, Debbie. So like, if I were to live like
mid-30s is like the 22 of birthdays.
And yeah, kind of what just seconding what Joey was saying. I have seen. There is, I think I would go as far to say there is a problem among white leftists in doing things like, oh yeah, the ECL is great. We should do what they do and not.
I know.
They don't act. They just protest.
like with like CHOP, like the
Chess,
what
yeah,
is it? The
chess
thing they're like, oh, we're going to be like the EZLN. It's like, no, you're not like them because they are an indigenous community working on their own self-determination and self-sufficiency, and they've been at this for a fucking long time.
Yep.
They were playing a decade before they actually did the 1994 stuff as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's there's a lot of
Stepping on brown folk.
Well, and a lot of white people idolizing, but not actually listening to and understanding.
Okay,
Yes.
David, sorry.
No.
Here at the end, that
People
that-
are taking
that gets
me
you
far too seriously.
The mid 30s was like I think it's the
the
mid
mid 30s
the
was when the
time.
Nazis got serious. No. No.
Oh God, David.
I love you, David, but no.
Oh, what a way to end it, as it were. From our speed to. But then again,
Remember, friends, hydrate, medicate, get yourself some sunlight. You are basically a houseplant with emotions.
Self-care, and communication is key. Goodbye, comrades and potential comrades.
And help people
I'm
get
gonna
abortions.
work on some boxes.
Good night, everybody. Take care.
Abortions
Take
are
care.
good.
Yes.
More abortions. Any reason? None at all.